see what they saying.
Those who in the audience portion, no, it doesn't need to be. There can't be any reaction at all, no matter how strongly you may feel. And it's understood that many people do have strong feelings, but we can't permit any kind of a reaction to the verdict. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of law enforcement here, and you will be whisked out of here if there is any. So just be aware. Okay. Would you go down, please? Yes. Thank you.
mm, mm. Mm. It's the faces of the people involved here. Like, look at the face of the male defense attorney with the gray suit who sat there with his arm closed, the one with the glasses. That looked like, oh, bitch, we know what's coming. We already know how this is going to go. Go,
all right,
we're not
members of the
worried.
jury, have you elected a foreperson? Would you give your juror number, please? 54. 54. And has the jury reached a verdict as to each count of the information? Yes. One verdict and one verdict only? Yes. Would you hand all of the paperwork to the bailiff, please? Yes. Everything. Yeah, thanks.
A mess.
Yeah, see that too, please?
A mess. Zap, you knew I had a response. Cams, you knew I was going to be here for this. What's up, Zap? What's up, Cams? What's up, Bob Marley, SNL, Lily? What's going on, Volvo? Hey, love. What's going on, everybody? Y'all, hey, Tabitha. Y'all see, I'm over here so calm. Girl, let me pour. Listen. To say,
face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
I'm just playing this for you, the people, for the replay.
Versus Kyle. That's the first count of the information shows up as a bond. The jury finds Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Rosebroyce, we the jury find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Members of the jury, are these your unanimous verdicts? Is there anyone who does not agree with the verdicts as read? Would you wish the jury poll? Okay. Okay, folks, your job is done, and we started just about 3 weeks ago.
Now, If y'all thought, I told y'all. Remember, we were on a Politics of It All Live, and somebody asked me about Kyle Rittenhouse, and I told you I'm not going to discuss that case until it's over because we knew how this was going to end. We saw from the very beginning where this was going. When that judge started off by saying, "Oh no, you're not going to call them victims. No, you won't be allowed to call them victims. Not in my courtroom. But you can call them rioters and looters. You can call them that. Victims we won't. Because victim is a loaded word, but rioter and looter is not a loaded word. We knew how this was going to go. We knew how, hey, Young Rich Skinny. We knew how this was going. Hey, BDI Derek. We knew how this was going to go when there was videotape evidence of Kyle Rittenhouse some, I think, 14 or 15 days, 2 weeks before him going to Kenosha, of him seeing black people in a CVS store and saying on camera, I wish I could go in there and shoot them all. They didn't want no parts of that on there in the case. They didn't want that to be included as evidence. We knew how this was going to go based on the fuck shit and fuckery of the goddamn judge from the very beginning of this case. The fact that not only this judge, Judge Schroeder, but so many other countless numbers of judges across the fruited plains are allowed to sit on the bench and dictate people's lives and make decisions on someone's life is beyond my level of comprehension. Because we knew from the beginning that there was no way that there was going to be a fair trial with this judge. No way. No way. No way. There was no way possible. And let's just be clear. Listen. Hold on. I calls it as I sees it, okay? Hey, Miss Baythang. Hey, Royal Court. This is the great state of Minnesota. Am I not right on that? Is this Minnesota? This is Minnesota, isn't it not? Let me make sure. Because I need to make sure. No, this is Wisconsin. I'm sorry. Kenosha, Wisconsin. Right next to Minnesota. All up there in the great, Midwest. This is Wisconsin, right next to Minnesota. You got Wisconsin right next door to Minnesota, who in these states have had countless numbers of cases of profiling, of racism, of discrimination, of criminal justice injustices that are going on. Wisconsin and Minnesota might as well be all one state. If you ask me, they wouldn't like me saying that. But at this point, when we're talking about the level of racism, the level of discriminatory actions, the level of bigotry that you have going on in these places, it's one and the same. Let's just be clear. Let's just be clear. They're both one and the same. And so, hey, really B, what's going on? When you have a case like, we really have to pick this apart and really look at what's really happening and what's really going on here. Okay? You got a judge who's been sitting and serving for quite some time now, who, if you believe that this is the first time that something like this has happened in his courtroom, you're reaching. If you go and look at it, this is par for the course for this judge. This is par for the course. If I am a prosecuting attorney, with all of the actions of this judge, I'm going to every level that I can to get a mistrial declared, to talk to all of the people, because judges don't have complete autonomy. There are mechanisms and places with which, if there's a problem with a judge, lawyers know that they can go to with which to, make a case for, can we get another judge, or can we get this judge recused on this, and so forth, for various reasons. But if I'm to, really think that this was supposed to be a real shot at getting real justice, you're reaching. You're reaching. You're reaching. This was all smoke and mirrors. This was all just to say, oh, well, we had a trial. Oh, well, what are you talking about? A jury of his peers found him not guilty. What is there to talk about? The evidence was presented. The judge allowed, because even in, and those people who are legal experts, please jump in the chat. Can I get Mod to drop the link? Mods, I think I put the link in the mod squad for the mods. Can y'all drop the link if anybody wants to come up and discuss this or vent or talk about this for a while? But let's just be clear. We've seen this over and over and over in the annals of history of this country, where we will have these trials. We'll have the criminal justice system go through this dog and pony show as if to really, say that, oh, we did the right thing. Oh, there was a trial. Oh, there was a jury, because they're going to make sure it's a jury case. Oh, no. They ain't going to never let it, that's how they try to, give themselves, an out. Oh, no. There wasn't one person that decided. There was a whole jury that decided this. There was a black person on the jury. Indefensible. Here's we were not surprised about this. Let's be clear. We were not surprised about this. We are not it. Black people, we saw the writings on the wall from the very beginnings of this. But here's where we need to do. Cams, go ahead and click the link. You ain't even gotta click your mic on. You can stay off camera and have your avatar. You can click the link, Cams. Go ahead. But here's what you do need to be what we do need to say, and what we do need to concern ourselves with is this. What we need to concern ourselves with is the fact that people in positions of power aren't screaming holy hell. Where is the people who we elected to Congress? Where are the people who the great black people in the great state of Wisconsin decided that they would elect to the state senate or the state house of representatives that are in it for their best interests? Where are they on this? Why are they not screaming holy hell? Where is the Congressional Black Caucus on this? Why are they not screaming holy hell? And I ain't even just talking to just black people. I'm just talking about people in general. Where's the ACLU? Where is other members of Congress, black, white, blue, or purple, screaming holy hell, saying, what the fuck is going on? And why is somebody not looking at what's going on with this judge, and the fact that you can't clearly have a fair trial with someone sitting on the bench in these yet to be United States of America? Where is the vice president? Where's the president? He's probably unconscious right now, probably getting stuff shoved up his rectum as he has his annual colonoscopy. I mean, that's what literally was happening. He's having his annual colonoscopy. They're shoving instruments up his rectum while he's unconscious, and Kamala Harris is acting president right now of these yet to be United States of America. But even leading up to this, when you saw the actions of this attorney, and you saw the actions, not the attorney, the judge, and all of this foolishness that's been going on in this courtroom, where are they on this? Why is no one saying nothing? That is the telltale sign for me, because what that says to me is you're okay with it. Your silence speaks more volumes than you even saying something. It speaks volumes. That is my problem. Abby, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Mhm.
No, I was letting you vent your spleen. I have no fever. Listen, I want to care, but they don't care when this happens to us. So why? I found it very difficult to find any ire. Welcome to our lives. This is just what happens. This is just they gun us down and nothing, and they play trial, and then the person goes free.
Mhm.
Welcome to what we've been dealing with our entire time while we've been here.
Y'all could have had this courtroom set in a kindergarten classroom with, with a kindergartner as the judge and the attorneys and all of that, and it would have been the same results. It probably would have been more equitable in that case, because clearly adults, white adults in this country, a lot of them have no ability to really do the right thing, to act in a judicious manner, to think that justice, mm-mm. And I'm gonna be very clear about this. When you look at the justice system, they have the goddess. What's the goddess of justice in Greek mythology? That's the woman that you see who's blindfolded, that
Scale.
told scales of justice, right? Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. I don't want you to be blind and do the right thing. I want you to have the fucking blindfold off and still do the right thing. Because when you go into a courtroom, it's not blind justice. It's not blind justice. They see and hear everything that's going on. This stuff isn't done, blindly. And so take the whole, hoodwink off of the Themis. Thank you, Cams, the goddess of justice. You're supposed to be able to make the right decision with your eyes open, knowing what's presented before you, because you see all of the evidence, and you should be able to say, looking at everything, I don't care if give a shit who you are. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. And we've seen time and time again in this case, there was no way that there was no. I don't think there's a single black person across the fruited plains that's today like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. No, we're not. We knew this. We saw this coming afar off.
Right. Yeah. I
And
don't. Again, I have no. I don't. I'm not all fired up and oh my God, why is this happening? Because that's what. Welcome to our lives. Like I don't.
right,
Welcome to this is what we've been dealing with. Do you see what we're talking about now? Does it make sense to you now? White people, are white people, are you enraged that your brother and his sister were gunned down for no reason by this child? And he's not going to be, no justice will be given, no quarter, no nothing. You get nothing for this.
nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And the sad part about it is white America, some people who call themselves allies or see it, for us and things like that, they came and told, no, give it a chance. Allow the wheels of justice to do what it does. And we sat there like this. Girl, I'm gonna have a drink because I already know how this is gonna go. Okay, you can play that game, but we already know what's gonna happen here. Mm-mm.
Well, I'm
And the things happening with this case are even less egregious than what we see happening in Brunswick, Georgia. Brunswick, Georgia, and that whole defense team is just blatant and all out. just being extremely racist, extremely divisive, extremely bigoted. No qualms about calling out the blacks, the black people. We don't want y'all black asses in here. The judge even commented, it seems as if you are purposely trying to weed out all of the black people off of the jury. You say that in one breath, but in the next
But
breath,
you,
you didn't
you
do
allow
anything
it.
to fix it. You didn't do anything to fix the problem.
Listen.
Kyle Rittenhouse is about to become a multimillionaire. His crying was not because not the joy of being found not guilty. It was the joy of knowing I am about to go on a whole hero tour and I am about to become very wealthy. Let's just be very clear. He's about to become very, very wealthy.
He is.
Hey Cams, what's going on, bro?
You're on mute, baby, so we can't hear you if you're talking.
Hey,
Hey.
another day.
At least we weren't the victims this time. I mean, yay for us. That's all I got. He ain't shoot none of us. So that's all I got. That's the only win. That's the only win we got out this whole situation. This was none of our business. Sweet.
I think we should just stay in our lane on this one.
Right.
Just mind our business. Let's leave this to the whites. But I mean, I was following the case pretty closely just because I'm in Minnesota, and I just don't think they should have brought the case forward at all. Just because the more evidence they showed, because he initially ran away, that is how he got off. Even though somebody's coming at you with a skateboard and you have an assault rifle, I don't think that, my life would be at risk in that situation, but he was provided the benefit of the doubt. And I think we all know why. None of this was shocking, unsurprising to anybody that lives here. We're just like, another day in the Midwest.
My thing is that, and you're right there, Camps in Minnesota, and as you can see, we've seen countless and countless, and I know this is in Wisconsin, but that's just a spit take from Minnesota. How many times do we see in this area? Just said in this area, um, you know, whoever Nick Reddy is said justice for Kyle, please understand that my hands are here. So when you get blocked and or removed, just know that it's not me. It's the people that have blue sticks and riches that are going
Be
to
blessed, Nick.
infiltrate. Huh? Oh, he's gone?
He's gone. Be blessed.
Oh, I just wanted him to see that my hands are here. I didn't. I didn't. But what I'm saying is, Cam, what was even leading up to this? What was the temperature in that area about this and what was going on? Because I'm sure y'all probably looked at this as like, I ain't surprised too. Like, what goes through the mind of the average person that lives there, may have been born and raised there, may have been transplanted there and made a life there? What goes through the mind of someone, one of us there, that look at this like, this is par for the course?
I think that when you look at it historically, um, just Minnesota especially, is super racist.
Oh my God!
Like, it's Tabitha in the PJs.
Jesus.
Oh my God! Look at God! Come on, Tabitha.
Cut it out. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to pop in to say this. Voting in your local elections is extremely important. If you don't take anything away from this trial, take away how important it is to vote in your local elections. This judge got on the bench because he has been able to run unopposed for years. For years. You vote for judges in your local election.
That's right.
You vote for police chiefs in your local elections.
That's right.
You vote for your senators, your state representatives. All of that is done in your local elections. Now, had this judge had an opponent and voters went out to vote against this judge, his ass wouldn't have been on the bench. So all of my people out there in Wisconsin, Kenosha, remember his name. Remember his name. His name is going to come up on the ballot again. Vote his ass out. He doesn't even respect the judicial process. Reading candy order magazines, cell phones going off.
I mean, even in the middle of a trial, reading a magazine. In the middle of a trial, reading the little magazine, ordering cookie for a fundraiser or something foolishness. What is happening? Like, what is really happening? And I don't even care about a political party, more so with these judges, because we know in a lot of local elections, we don't even pay attention to the judges because a lot of them are unopposed. And so what we need to do as Black people and people of a certain ideology and level of thinking, we have to get more of our people to say, no, you go and run against this rat bastard. They don't need to be unopposed. I don't care if you tell me they have millions of dollars behind them. Don't worry, because it still can happen. Look what happened to our girl India Walton up in Buffalo, where they had Byron Brown wrote in the Democratic Party had a write-in candidate win the mayor of Buffalo because they didn't want that Black woman to be the mayor of Buffalo. Let's just be clear. And so what I'm saying is, when you're talking about an election of a judge, most people don't even make it that far down on the ballot where they're even paying attention because they only see one name. I guess I'll just check that name because that's one. But at least have someone there and let that person at least be a name on there. And if push comes to shove in a case like this, if nobody is running, somebody in that area should say, here's a write-in candidate. Because what we're not going to do is continue to allow someone of the nature of a Judge Schroeder to continue to sit on the bench where someone who is dead and is a victim of gun violence not to be called who they are, a victim, but you can call them a criminal. Right. You can call them a rioter, an arsonist, or a looter, all of which can be deemed as criminals, but they can't be found to be a victim. Absolutely not. We're not going to play this game with y'all. We're not going to play this game.
That's all I wanted to jump on here and say, y'all. I'm going to hop back down.
You don't gotta hop. Don't be trying to hop back down all fast and stuff. She gonna roll up in here. Oh, I was just saying I want to see it just hop on down because I don't care about y'all. You know, where Cam is in the area. Cam stays in Minnesota, which I know is right next door to Wisconsin. I was asking him the temperament of Black people in that area because we know y'all had a very important. I know in Minneapolis, Minnesota, they had that question too that was on the ballot about the police department in Minneapolis. And, you know, there are people in that area that are really trying to be about the business of changing some of the criminal justice reform that we have down there and be about the business of getting some of these people out of there. So I was asking Caleb, who came on, what is the temperament right now of the people there in that area?
It's still very, divisive to me. Like question 2, a lot of Black people actually did not support that, proposal just due to the fact that North Minneapolis is where most of the gun violence is occurring. There are lots of children that are being shot and killed. And so the residents of those communities are like, we need to do something. And they didn't feel like changing structurally how the police reporting apparatus works was going to be that fix. I don't know whether I agree or disagree, but I think that the issue is the police union here. The issue is qualified immunity for police officers around the US. But until we begin to touch on those things, we're not going to ever have accountability for police officers. So my whole thing is, I don't know why doctors have to have malpractice insurance, but these police officers aren't required to have insurance, so that if you have multiple, and I mean like a history of excessive force, we don't need to insure you. You need to insure yourself so that the taxpayer, i.e. us, we're not held liable for when they have these multi-million-dollar settlements, because I mean, ultimately I'm paying for it.
Interesting. That's true. And you know, qualified immunity is something that criminal justice people here for criminal justice reform has been screaming about. That is that, as well as even if they are found guilty, the fact that a lot of these people continue to have their licenses and certifications and can go to the next county over and continue the same practices and atrocities. They don't get their retirements taken from them. They don't get their salary taken. They can sit there and just go to the next county over and have the same things happen, and we don't have any. There's no recourse. There's no, actions that are really taken for this person. I don't understand it. I do not understand. Listen, and if y'all are thinking, I would be more surprised in the Armand Arbery if we do get a guilty verdict. I would be very surprised. I'm going to go on record as saying we see where this is going. We see that they have already stacked the jury. Let's be clear. The judge can say and do whatever he wants, but they've stacked the jury. Now, me not being a legal expert, I know that there are some types of trials and cases where the jury verdict notwithstanding, the judge still holds the ability to see that verdict and say, I don't agree with that verdict, and I'm going to go against the verdict because I've sat here and listened to the evidence, and I'm telling you that's not what it. There are some legal cases I'm not as familiar with when that can and cannot fall into place, or when the judge has the ability to do that. But I know that there are instances where a jury will have a verdict, and the judge can usurp that jury's verdict and say, I'm not. Nope. I know y'all said not guilty, but I'm not going to let that fall. I'm not going to let that happen in my courtroom because I know that the laws of this, or the Constitution of this state, the laws of this land do not call for that. And I'm not going to. I have seen that happen, but I'm just, because I'm not a legal expert, I don't know when that is able to be enacted. So, Kyle Rittenhouse is Kyle Rittenhouse, but we're looking forward to Ahmaud Arbery, which, is coming up in Brunswick, Georgia. We just had all of those black pastors. I was so glad to see them out there yesterday, who told that rat bastard, oh, you don't want black pastors here? Well, we're going to come anyway. You mad about it? Because the judge said himself, I didn't even know Reverend Jackson was here until you just brought it up, that Reverend Jackson was here, that Reverend Al Sharpton was here. Until you brought it up, nobody here cared. It didn't add any disruption to this court. What are you talking about? It's just him. And you notice he keeps bringing this stuff up because he knows the judge is not here for it, but he wants to keep putting that in the air and in the ear of the jury. His racist undertones and his racist ideologies, he wants to continue to be in the ear of and be front of mind for a jury that's sitting there listening to this fuck shit. Any of y'all expect a not guilty, guilty verdict in this Ahmaud Arbery? Because I'm a pessimist,
I do, based off just the cross-examination. Like, he committed perjury. Like, you committed perjury. Like, the whole thing could have been de-escalated but you're doing a citizen's arrest under dubious terms. What crime did you see this man commit? And even the police said we would have issued a warning. There wouldn't have been an arrest because there was no crime committed. So I just think that the preponderance of evidence is not looking good for the defense so far. I mean, unlike the Kyle Rittenhouse case, the prosecution was incompetent. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going
Like, I'm not a lawyer, but they shouldn't have been lawyers either. That's all I'm saying.
going to say the prosecution was incompetent. What I am going to say is when you have a judge that the defense is in the pocket of or defense is in bed with, and the judge can say, no prosecution, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. No, I'm going to cuss you out in this day of the trial. No, I'm going to go in on you, but I'm going to let the defense do whatever they want. They can just, just blather about doing whatever they want, grandstand, but the prosecution, you're held to one set of responsibilities. The defense, you're held to another, and that's not equitable. That was the problem with the Kyle Rittenhouse from the very beginning.
I still think that the prosecution was incompetent, but just because there was some prosecutorial misconduct, like evidence, you have to give the defense the appropriate evidence. When you're changing file names, when the resolution is different, like that's part of the reason why he got cussed out. But when there is any potentially exculpatory evidence, the prosecution must provide it to the defense. And the prosecution was doing some shady stuff. And I also think that they just brought the case too quick. 48 hours after the shooting is not enough time for you to gather the facts, for you to gather the evidence, for you to build a case. But as we see the racial sort of tension here, that's why he brought it so fast, because he was like, I don't want another George Floyd incident where we're burning down police precincts.
And, I'm going to ask this to you, Abby and Tabitha. Do you all think, because this is what I believe wholeheartedly, this was all just smoke and mirrors. The prosecution was in on with it just as much as the defense. They just wanted to put this up and say, hey, we did what we were supposed to do. We had a trial, sit down and shut the hell up. We ain't got nothing else to say about it. Y'all had y'all trial. Get over it. Because if you don't expect me to believe that the prosecution wasn't in on it with the defense, just like you said, there wouldn't have been that many missteps. There wouldn't have been all of that had if this was really supposed to be equitable. I don't know how y'all feel, Abby and Tabitha, because that's how I feel. I feel like they all was in bed together.
I came to that conclusion that they were all in on it together when I saw a picture of the judge sitting in front of a monitor. I guess they were looking at some type of video evidence, and you had the prosecution, you had the defense, and you had Kyle Rittenhouse all standing around the judge. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse is on trial for murder. And he had this close proximity to the judge. I was like, no, to me, they had a level of comfort with each other. When I looked at this picture of them all standing around looking at this video evidence, I was like, no, this is a setup from the beginning. I believe the prosecution planned all of their little missteps and mishaps, just as El Teddy said, to say, well, we brought him to trial. He was found not guilty. What more do y'all want? That's just my take from it and how I came to that conclusion. Let's not.
I mean, you have not one objection to a lot of this stuff. No, at least let the judge overrule you. But you ain't objected to none of this foolishness.
Right.
Like, you just gonna sit there and take it. At least to just disrupt the flow of shit. Objection. Even if I know the judge gonna overrule, baby, I'm just not just gonna let y'all nilly with. It's kind of like in football when at the end of the game the kicker is getting ready to kick the field goal. Just before he kicked that ball, what they do? Timeout. Because I ain't just gonna let you just freely I know y'all gonna win, but I'm just gonna delay this a little while longer before y'all win. Something. Y'all didn't even put up a fight. Y'all just sat there like, What's going on, Jason? I mean, y'all just said, and so that's why for me with the Ahmaud Arbery, they've already stacked the jury. We know that the judge even admitted it so. So even if the judge is grandstanding, trying to make it like, oh, I'm not here for all of your racist stuff, but you were here for when they put this jury together in their racist fashion. And the jury is the one who's going to be able to come up with a real, and let's be clear. I love to see who this black person is on the jury. I really want to know who this black person, this one black person, because as I like to call some of our black people who are black presenting, I like to call some of us black people black presenting because you look black, but let's just be clear, you don't align yourself with anything involved with us, and so I wonder how this is going to turn out. Like, how is this going to go? Because is the jury going to come out with, oh, he's not guilty to us, and you just going to sit there, judge, and say, okay, well, that's what it is. I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with that. I don't know. I just don't know that in Brunswick, Georgia, and Georgia. Let's be clear. When we go back to the history of Georgia, Georgia was one of the worst states in terms of racism. Georgia and South Carolina was here for all of it. They were here for all of it. Some of the most horrible atrocities that we've seen in the history of this country with black people was here in Georgia, which is why as recently as right after, as when Ahmaud Arbery was killed, murdered, they still had laws on the books from slavery times that allowed white people to murder black people because they thought or had the notion or had a thought in their brain that they were committing a crime. The same slave laws that allowed lynchings in Georgia were still on the books. In Ahmaud Arbery was killed in what, 2020? Come on now. And they just changed that law. Come on now. I don't expect anything. I don't expect anything to I don't expect anything good to come out of that trial. I expect it to go exactly how it goes, okay? I don't know.
I just don't understand how, like, it's in Glenn County, Georgia. That's where they're holding the trial. I mean, about 25, 26% of the county is black. But it also goes back into what Tabitha was saying. You have to vote in your local election because that's where you get pulled for jury duty. And I hate to say it, but a lot of us are not registered to vote. We vote inconsistently. So we're not a part of this process. So it's like they're always striking us from voter rolls if we're not voting consistently in every election. So that's where they get the desired outcome. Well, I mean, based off of the black people that we did have, we struck these based on this reason because the other judge was like, yeah, it seems to be some racial stuff, but all the defense has to do is prove blah, 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 and they've met that threshold.
Here's what the sad part is. Remember, over the course of the last 10 months or so, 10 to 11 months or so, states have been worsening their voter laws. So even when it was easy, go register to vote, go and vote. It was easy, it was easy. Now they've made it where even if you did do like we're telling you, and we're not telling you not to go vote, we're telling you to go vote and so forth. Now they've made it where even in elections now they can say, oh, that vote was a little too close. There are states that have now put it in the hands not of the Secretary of State, not of elections officials, but in their statewide House representatives and Senate, where they get to be the ones that decide the outcomes of elections, the certified elections, and have taken it completely out of the Department of State or the Secretary of State. And so now they can nilly-willy at the drop of a dime say, oh, y'all thought that election went that way because y'all voted that way? Screw you, we're going to go that way. And so, and that's going on, And the Democrats are around here in Washington playing pussyfoot with each other and not even trying to get real legislation for voter. Because at this point, we, with all of the laws that have gone across the country, it has to be federal now. There has to be federal mandates in regard to voter voting
Yep.
and voter suppression and gerrymandering and redistricting and
Oh, the
all of
Supreme Court said that no, the states can they can gerrymander. It doesn't have to be fair. That's already a Supreme Court precedent. They punted that back to the states, which is BS. But I think when you look at the origin of it, all of this flows from Shelby County versus Holder. When they decided 5-4 in 2013, this isn't fair that these states that have been racist their whole damn existence since 1776, they've held black people to a lower standard. They held poll taxes. They made it unbearably hard for black people to vote. Racism doesn't exist anymore. So we cannot hold the Voting Rights Act of 1965. We cannot hold this section legal anymore. It's unconstitutional. The moment that they did that, and I was in Alabama at the time,
and you see what's
all
happening.
of a sudden you have to have voter ID. Tell me why in every majority black county in Alabama, the damn DMV got closed due to budget cuts. So you mean to tell me people have to go 200 miles to go get a damn ID to vote?
It's all by design.
Oh, it's all by design.
And then
show me how that isn't a poll tax. It's an indirect poll tax. There's supposed to be a constitutional amendment where we do not do poll taxes. You're just indirectly having a poll tax.
That's basically what it is. And white racist people don't understand how voter ID laws can be oppressive for the black community, people of color. You know, they look at it as, I think it's $20 here to get an ID here in Georgia, but $20 can make or break some of our black people. And then they don't have the DMV on a bus line. They will put the DMV way out in the middle of nowhere, not on a bus line, which makes it difficult for people who have to use mass transit to get where they need to go to get an ID. But
even if we look at some of our children who are now college age, we know in Florida, that was the whole thing. I voted in the 2000 election. I'm just going to tell you, that was my first election I was able to vote in. And I was in Tallahassee, born and raised in Miami. I was in college in Tallahassee. And we were told at the beginning that we could not vote at the precincts in Tallahassee because our voter registrations were back at home in Miami. And we still voted on provisional ballot. But it was a long time. There was a whole situation. He said, oh, no, y'all can't vote. If you want to vote on provisional ballots, you can. And a lot of us, there were dozens of us that said, well, we still going to vote on this provisional ballot. And then later came to find out that they allowed the provisional ballots in some areas. In some areas, they didn't. And it was a whole fiasco because at that time, they were trying to get George W. Bush in office. And it depended on which supervisor of election was over that area or over that county that decided on whether or not they were going to allow the provisional ballots in and what reason. And so you got even situations like that that even still linger today, that my child who's legally eligible to vote, who has a legal voter registration card because they moved to another part of the state. I ain't even going to the people that go out of state. I ain't even going that route. But they moved to another part of the same state. They're in school doing what they're supposed to do. And now you tell me my child can't vote, and now their vote is not going to count because you just little things like that. This is what we're talking about, and this permeates to the judicial system. This permeates through all of the things that we have going on. And so and I get so angry when people tell me, oh, I'm not into politics, this doesn't matter. But what you don't realize is politics plays a part in everything that you do, even your livelihood, even in you being alive. We saw yesterday what people were celebrating. I'm very glad that Julius Jones is still alive. But let's be clear. Governor Stitt made everything in his power, did everything in his power to keep any justice from
Right.
coming to that young man. He made sure,
Yeah.
oh no, yeah, I'm gonna play politics. I'm gonna play the game with y'all and keep him alive, but he ain't gonna get no
A, B,
justice.
C, D, E. He has to stay in jail for the rest of his life. Can't file for, what is the term?
He can't file for parole if the
That's
governor is
it.
out of office.
Yeah.
He can't file for parole. He can't file for commutation. He can't file to get pardoned. He can't do any of that. Pardon was in that. Commuting his sentence was in that. Parole was all in that language.
The only good thing about it is it's an executive order. So if another governor comes in,
Right.
they can do their own thing. But like, it's just, I felt that the evidence shows that he was not there. He was not part of the carjacking. The man was at home. I feel like he's been railroaded, and for you to just like we won't kill you, but we're still going to deprive you of your freedom.
Right.
That's right.
How that makes sense?
That's right.
And it's because you're black. That's really what it is, because they wouldn't do white people like this, and we all know that.
Well, they want that free black labor.
There was evidence that was supposed to be introduced into the trial that they wouldn't show pictures of Julius Jones at the time that would have refuted him matching the description. And many of the jurors said from the case said, had I seen or known that, I would have voted differently. But you won't even allow that in the evidence.
That's why when I say earlier, the prosecution has a duty to provide any potentially exculpatory evidence. Like, if you knew that there was anything that could undermine the prosecution's case, the defense has to be provided with that. Like, because that's a slam dunk appeal. Just like you denied this man his constitutional rights.
Right.
This was not a fair trial. You can't just withhold like evidence. And then, the prosecution, once they went back, they had falsified a lot of things for other people.
The prosecutor,
falsification, lying, yes, trumping charges, yep. And you would think, okay, maybe we need to reopen this based on all of this evidence, and it's just like, nah, we're just gonna let you sit there.
And we see this over and over and over. And here's the sad part: we see this with these big trials that we see on television. There are thousands of trials that we never even see or hear about.
Right.
Tabitha and Cam, y'all know I will spotlight stuff on my channel that I say, hey, this is something that I was digging for, I heard about. And we will never, and people will be like, I didn't even know that was going on. And there are thousands of these things that happen all day, every day. But we got people in DC that won't even touch a criminal justice reform bill, won't even touch a voter suppression bill, won't even look at it. And y'all are over here playing nice with people. I ain't even going to the Republican Party. I'm not even going over there. You're talking about y'all won't even try to go there with people in your own party that are being, hindrances and obstacles to there being real criminal justice reform, to there being real action on voter suppression and stuff like that. Because what they're going to
even talk about it anymore.
They don't.
There in Washington.
Because we're a reliable voting bloc. What are we gonna do? We're trapped. It's like we know the Republicans aren't going to do anything. They're bad faith negotiators. Like, they're beholden to getting as much power as they can, whether that be through gerrymandering at all. They do not want us to have any sort of political presence. But until we start holding the people that we elect accountable, nothing is going to change. And it's like, my whole thing now, what's in it for me? If you want to solicit my vote, what the hell am I getting out of this deal?
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. there are those of us who's gonna vote for anything. I don't care if it's toilet paper. We're gonna vote for Charmin Ultra Gentle. I would have voted for Charmin Ultra Soft years ago, but now I'm into Charmin Ultra Gentle. Don't judge me. but but what they're about to see in 2022, I keep saying it's about to be a bloodbath.
Absolutely.
The fringe of black voters that would normally, when you say, I need you to come out, I got you, I need you to come out, those are going to be the people that say, I ain't got time for that today. I'm not going to go because it's raining in my city today. I'm not going to go out there and vote today because it's cold today. I ain't got that type of time. I ain't got nobody to keep my kid. Those are the people that are not going to vote. And now millions across the country, votes across the country are not going to happen. And it's about to be a bloodbath.
It is.
It's going to be a bloodbath because you have not, the people who got you there, you didn't hold on to those people. You didn't say, y'all got me here and I'm here for y'all and I'm going to give y'all what y'all need and I'm going to support y'all. And even if I fail, you going to know that I was here fighting tooth and nail by every single stretch of the imagination. And they're not doing that. They're not doing that. So they're not even the Dems. And I was
our trash. We could just end the sentence there. Our trash.
They are not coming in good faith when they're asking us to vote for them because we don't even know at this point that they are going to be about seeing to our needs. People came, and I'm gonna be very honest. Y'all know, remember last December, people was coming at my throat because I was saying, why they not doing enough for the black people? Why they not? And people would say, oh, you need to wait. Give them some time. Let them get it off in. Da 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 da. The black people, y'all can wait. And I kept saying, y'all always tell us we have to wait. We have to wait. We have to wait. And we keep waiting and our time never comes. That's just not fair. But y'all always looking for us when it's time to vote, though.
You don't do anything for us for a whole presidential cycle. But then when, re-election time come around here, you come with your little UNICEF can looking for donations and looking for votes. What have you done for me? Like the whole Biden legislative policy. What am I getting out of this? Why would I vote for you again? And to be quite frank, I was so mad because I just knew he was out of the race. I was like, okay, we're going to get somebody that maybe is going to do a little something. And then the black folks in South Carolina was like, no, we want him. We want Biden. So now you got him. So now you got him.
Back to the Jim Clyburn. Y'all already know how I feel about Jim Clyburn. I ain't even gonna go down there.
He was on the news this morning, making me mad. All right, y'all. I gotta get back to work. I enjoyed y'all in the conversation.
You know you don't come up here too often, so we appreciate you.
All right, y'all have a fantastic day.
You too.
All right. Yeah, I be looking at these people like, y'all want me to do what? Who wants me to do what?
Just look at who we have representing us at the national level. A president that has permanent foot and mouth syndrome. A vice president, what does she do? The Speaker of the House, she has to be the worst negotiator. You don't get nothing out of the deal, and we still vote on it. You can't compromise. You cannot deal with people who negotiate in bad faith.
Joe Mason told you up front.
I really want y'all to understand that even with all of their failings, they were still the lesser of the two evils we had to pick from.
But see, people pay attention to the lesser part. Forget the part that both evil. They're both evil. They're both evil. And the fact that
we had to do something because there are people in this country who still think that the orange popsicle is still the president. And this whole Joe Biden thing is fake, and that at some point they're gonna take over.
He gonna get put back in office. He gonna be the president again. Based on what?
Wait a minute. The same people who are waiting for JFK to come back from the dead.
Child, them people.
The same people taking horse medication to prevent growing.
Coming back. That is in the middle of the ocean somewhere. What are you talking about? Okay. And I'm not talking about and like something that I've heard. I am talking about one of my mother's closest friends that she used to work with in at social services in Virginia. It's been Jesus Christ. I've read some of the text messages that she had sent my mama, talk about, oh, don't get the vaccine, and they were wearing masks at the inauguration, and that's not really Joe Biden, and Donald is gonna take back over. Child, she done drank the Kool-Aid for real, for real. Like we have an active prayer circle for her to get her mind back. Cause what are you talking about, ma'am?
Like,
what reality do these people exist in?
I feel like
because it's cognitive dissonance. It's like the facts are there, and I'm just denying reality because it's not what I want to see.
No, I'm just gonna be clear. I missed the memo when in November of 2016. No, I'm sorry, January of 2017. We morphed into bizarro world. Like we were transported when we started hearing about the human carnage that your former president talked about in that inauguration. Okay, we were transported into some bizarro world because I sit here looking like, where the fuck am I? Like, what delusional place am I living in right now? Like, I just really don't be understanding. I'd be like, are y'all for real right now?
They have collectively had a psychotic break. I don't. What is happening?
It's
And
not
all
new
of us are
though.
looking at them like, are you okay?
This has always been America though. But I feel like once Trump got into office, these minority fringe views were then amplified. People are coming out of the woodwork. Now they've always been here. I mean, LTD, you work in education. Anti-intellectualism has been a thing. It has been a thing here.
Active stupidity has always been a thing. Yes, you are correct.
Let's be clear. We live in a country where somebody with an ounce of weed can go to jail for a lifetime, but people that try to actively overthrow the government and murder the sitting vice president of the yet to be United States of America can be allowed while facing charges to travel to foreign countries. And the most they can get is maybe not even 3.5 years. But
one case I was following, he got 41 months, and I don't think that was enough time.
But an ounce of weed can get you a whole life sentence. Y'all make it make sense.
Even though weed is starting to become, listen, let them. Eventually, weed is gonna be legal everywhere. So I want to know: are y'all gonna go back and commute these people's sentences that you put in jail for their whole life for weed? That's my question. Now that you're making billions of dollars off of it.
The question is who's being put behind bars on these drug charges, though. That determines what we gonna do, and I think we already know the answer to that.
Because if they're descended from the Caucasus Mountains, you might get a commuter. But if you're not,
they're not. The whiteys is not going to jail for weed. Hell, they not going to jail for murdering people. I know they ain't going to jail for no damn drugs. Hell,
I've seen a few just based on mandatory minimums, but by far, it's us by far. Man, the mandatory minimums don't make any sense. The 3 strikes is all BS. Like it's stupid.
Don't forget our sitting president was a part of all of that.
Which is why I didn't want to vote for him. I have not forgot about that crime bill.
Sentences that we have 4 hours a week. That was our sitting president. That was a part of all of it. Let's just be clear.
But y'all say that like we had any what other choice did we have? What was the other option?
No. When you say the lesser of two evils, I'm trying to remind the people because some people say, "Well, why is he evil?" No, this is the lesser of two evils.
No, he was evil. No. Forget me not was evil. Listen, this is not what we're gonna do.
Forget me not.
That's not what we're gonna do. Not on today. Child.
It's just
I, I'm
when you look at what the bill did, like what it was intended to do versus what it did. I mean, I think there needs to be some sort of ownership on maybe we were overzealous. Like I haven't heard any sort of remorse when he was campaigning. Oh yeah, we wrote that crime bill, and all you did was like a black people. Like, did we reduce crime? I mean, I feel like you could have reduced poverty. That would have went a way longer way of kind of getting you your desired outcome. But you know, we need income inequality, and somebody got to do the work so these billionaires can make this money. Somebody got to work for the pennies.
but they don't want to get rid. This is a capitalist society. They want to not get rid of poverty at all. Oh no! Oh no! You
Why
are
do you think
not.
there's all this pushback against this social spending bill, but we've done so many tax cuts over the past 20 years where it's just like, well, I mean, we need these tax cuts. It's going to grow the economy. No, it doesn't. They don't do anything but add to the deficit. So we care about the deficit now when y'all done pass these tax cuts. It doesn't make sense. And it's like nobody holds these people accountable. They have collective amnesia when they
Listen,
vote for these bills that benefit them.
it showed you that he had gone years and years and years and years and years and years without paying a dime in taxes legally because of the shit that y'all put in place. He told y'all.
And
I mean,
have you read the tax code? You got to hire a professional tax lawyer, tax attorney to even get through most of those loopholes. But the reason why it's that complex is, granted, they lobby. They want to keep themselves employed. And, you know, full admission, I worked for an accounting firm before. They're very sleazy people. They want to keep the tax code as complicated as possible so they can continue raking in the millions when they do them consultants, when they come in and do those audits. This is how you need to move the money. This is what you need to declare this income as. Like it's done that way on purpose. But the IRS goes after the average Joe for audits. But you have these people hiding hundreds of millions overseas. I mean, the Panama Papers showed like it's a lot of U.S. citizens that's hiding money elsewhere. You should probably go for them. You get a lot more of your tax money than going for, you know, me over $300.
let me just say this.
I would like to hit the lottery and have a tax shelter, so I don't.
Somebody asked me why we're so concerned. We're so concerned about the Kyle Rittenhouse because this shows you what white America really felt about. This verdict shows you what they felt about the entirety of the Black Lives Matter movement and the entirety of our whole protest and civil unrest. This tells you what they feel about it. They don't give a shit. They would like to kill it, which is why you had all of those multinational and international conglomerates promise all of these billions of dollars and not give us any of it. Let's just be clear.
Amen. And El Teddy speaks for El Teddy 27 official because I didn't give a damn. Listen, let me be very clear.
So,
When I looked up his victims and when they skin didn't match mine, I went about the rest of my day. Y'all do whatever.
but no. Let's be clear. He went there with the intention of taking us, but what happened was,
Get the hell out the way.
yeah, he didn't think that there would be people of his own, you know, skin tone and skin color that would be there. That would be just as, nook if you buck about the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's what he didn't bank on. And shout out to I shout out to a lot of white people who have been allies and who have, without them being a part of the movement, a lot of this stuff that we've been able to gain, we would not have been able to gain in the same way as in the LGBTQIA plus community. If we didn't have a lot of straight allies, we wouldn't have a lot of the gains that we've had in that community without them. So shout out to them. But this just goes to show you how much America really gives a shit. You don't see not one politician or anybody saying anything about this. It's silent. Yeah.
It's not a tragedy to them.
It's another day in America.
Oh yeah.
And I hate to say it, I actually prefer the lockdowns because I felt like, oh, I like this new normal, but I knew that it was over the moment mass shooting started again. And I was like, oh, we're back to normal now. Because think about it. It wasn't no mass shootings. Nobody was shooting schools up. There were no disgruntled employees. And in the moment we opened everything back up, it was like, all right, who getting shot up today?
Leave my house to go to church. This is the I go to church and then I come home. I work from home. I be in the house. I be minding my business. Listen, I can't because you fools out here don't know how to conduct yourselves
You
in
know,
civilized society. So I am a founding member of the Nuck If You Buck Society, and the Lord knows my heart and my fists. So I stay in the house.
not your heart and your fist. I'm not doing this. Dear God. But yeah, that young man got off. He's gonna be all over your media. If y'all are mad about him, y'all better get ready. Cause he's about to be on every
He's
platform.
coming out with a book deal.
Oh, he's about to get paid
The
lavish.
jurors are going to come out with a book deal. Like everybody's going to make money off this.
The judge, because he already knows he's probably dead in the water in that area. But he's
I
gonna
don't
have
think so. I really think he's going to get reelected.
but
Sure. Why not?
The only judge I'm kind of iffy about is the guy that gave the rapist 8 years of probation. I think they're going to vote him out. But for the most part, judges do egregious stuff all the time. But we have the attention span of goldfish in America. So we don't hold people accountable because we don't remember.
a mess. And like I said, he's gonna release all kinds of book deals and all kinds of other stuff to make himself money, and that's fine.
Mhm.
He'll be on Fox.
My black dollar, so it's don't just do whatever you want to do.
George Zimmerman's still here, so we ain't gonna do nothing. So
Right.
He's still here. Ain't nobody.
ain't nobody.
Jay-Z said the streets ain't real because George Zimmerman's still walking around to this day.
Right.
So,
Ain't nobody take him out
ain't
yet.
nobody clapped that nigga yet. So I listen.
But we'll shoot each other over the dumbest things.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Because you stepped on my Jordan Air Force
Right.
Ones, the twos,
But
the
you still
24s,
let George
whatever the hell
Zimmerman
the number is.
walk around freely, dear God above.
Signing Skittles, I was like, this is just egregious. Egregious. And he just free as the day is long.
Just a mess.
But it doesn't surprise me anymore. I didn't even invest any energy in this. I was like, he gonna get off.
We knew. Listen, no black person across the country is surprised. Like we always like, yeah, this was Scott. We do. Listen, they said we gave you Derek Chauvin. Y'all shut the fuck up for about 20 years. Y'all that was 20 years worth of anything. Derek Chauvin, you about to be the example. Sorry for you, bruh. But we got to make one example.
Oh, he's appealing. He might get off on appeal. You never know.
They said we gave you Derek the murderer Chauvin, and the white lady said that she lied about Tamir, not Tamir, but Emmett. Y'all asking for too much now. Go on somewhere and sit down. We done gave you them too. Go on sit down.
But we've been the white lady had lied. She just had finally come. She's trying to get on.
She's trying to get into heaven at this juncture.
That's what I'm saying. She's trying to get to the pearly gates. Baby, that ship has sailed.
Baby, listen, I'm sorry for you, but you're going to have to stand in front of that white seat of judgment and explain what you did.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain that one.
If I just want to I just want to be sitting down on the side. I just want to hear your explanation for all of it. How you going to explain it?
And it's like, why even come out now? Like, we already knew that there was no need to say anything.
Right. Every
guilt
of what
your conscience, you don't have one, because if you had one, you wouldn't have lied in the first place.
Like every account of what happened proved that you were wrong, but whatever.
The justice system is parallel. We know it. There's a justice for white people. There's a justice system for black people, and there's a justice system for the people that have means and money.
Oh yeah, Pinky Tiki. That's what we're doing. We're picking jurors out of out of a spinning.
We got the sorting hat from Harry Potter. And that's
okay, girl.
That's how we get insurance. They don't went and got the goblet of fire and put a bunch of names in it and then waiting for them to get spit out and figure out.
But the thing is, it's like
They're like, oh, that's what
Now
we're doing.
that would be more fair. Shit.
What's up, Mug Chip? Hey, Mug Chip. Like, I was sitting there like, we really gonna have him pick these people out here like, they're like, that's what we're doing?
have y'all ever been summoned to jury duty?
Yes.
If you read, you read the
Several
newspaper.
times over.
Next.
And they never pick.
College educated.
No.
Next.
I've been picked 4 times on the jury. Every time I've gone to jury duty, I've been selected. Every single time. I've never not been selected.
They kicked me out when they was like, well, what do you do for a living? And I told them I worked for a durable medical equipment company, and it was an insurance thing. And they was like, thank you, goodbye.
Listen, I've done and said things try not to be selected, and they still selected me. I've been like,
they tell me no every single time. They tell me no every single time. There was something about it was a kid, his mama and something, and it was like, do you have children? I said yes. Thank you for your services. Goodbye. Okay, I guess.
I got
with the child, and the mama went up there and showed her hot pots, and they was like, "You have children?" Yes. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Okay.
One time I had a case where this black man had the white man, the white police officer died. The black man was committing a crime, hit the white police officer. And some part of his body got caught and drug him for half a mile. Drug this white police officer for half a mile. And so they asked me, well, do you think that police officers, because I didn't want to be on the jury, do you think police officers have sometimes biases or sometimes profile of black people? I sure do. Yes.
Thank you for your service.
They're going to say no. And
Door number 72 dismissed.
They went on to the next question.
Why would you ask a dumbass question? You knew the answer.
Well, mind you, 2 black people before me, they had already, the judge had said, I noticed you throwing all the black people off. I'm not going to keep having it. So 2 black people before me, that's what the judge said that. So they kicked off the black person that was in front of me. And then when they got to me, I guess they were like, well,
you know what this reminds? Listen, you know what this reminds me of? In A Time to Kill, when the prosecution got the jury list ahead of time, so they picked out all the black people so they can start striking them at the top of their child. That's what happens in real life. That's really what happens. Yeah. The prosecutor knows who the jury people is, and he got in his mind who he what his jury look like, and that you get kicked off before you even get there. It's hence why I listen. They can go just by off of your name. Hence why
I don't have a black name. See, my name doesn't sound too ethnic.
Right. So neither do my children. You won't know my children are black until they get in front of you. You won't know by telling. You can't tell by their names. You know
I work at the bank.
What Eric is until he get in front of you.
Banks deny loans on that all the time.
Right. You're not gonna know Michelle is. You definitely not gonna know Danielle until she get in front. Listen, on purpose.
Yeah, my name doesn't sound black until I get in front of. Oh yeah.
And also, my first name is Ebony, so I ain't never had a.
They already do. Ebony, yeah, she black.
Yeah, but yeah, same. I had to start going by my middle name on my resume to get interviews.
So, listen, God is all about love, whoever message is, but this is not the time. God didn't send it. Listen.
God didn't condone this.
God bless you.
God bless you, message, whoever you are. But yeah.
God bless you. Be blessed in all your endeavors, beloved.
Wait, you unhinged them, Abby.
No, I redid it.
Oh, okay.
I pressed. I went too fast, and I undid what you did, but then I did it back. It's fine. We be cool on the draw around here.
Child.
They asked me one question, I get kicked out. I don't never want to be on jury duty though, so
Listen,
never.
never. Listen,
Especially if it's a high profile case, I'm gonna be the lone holdout. No, I just feel like we didn't get all the evidence.
And listen, I was on the
I
jury.
just think we need to discuss it one more time.
I was on the jury one time. They were so mad at me. We deliberated for like 4 days. I remember. I was like, no, no. I don't care what y'all think. I listened to the same thing, and I started going over. Don't remember when so and so said that. I've got all my notes right here. Remember when this person said such and such? Remember when they said, and one by one, I got everybody to come on to my side because they was with the fuck shit.
listen.
I didn't even have notes. I was over there taking copious. You know how I am. I take copious notes. I be over here writing shit down. Them motherfuckers wasn't taking
As a
no notes.
black, listen, I'm watching a reality show and had a whole epiphany. Now, wait a minute. If this happened then and this happened then why are you saying this now? Why are you continuing this lie if the lie was already disproven 2 episodes ago when the person got on the phone and said such and such and such? Nope, we're not doing that. No, it ain't right.
I just want to go home.
Me was right here drawing porn on their goddamn tablets and shit that they gave us to take notes on and shit. I say, you was not paying attention? Oh, I forgot that part. Nah, I wrote it down, bitch. You supposed to be paying attention. But you over here just ready. They listen to the opening argument and closing argument. They ain't pay attention to no evidence after that.
Listen, I have watched Runaway Jury too many times. Listen, I will flip the whole jury. I have to.
I mean, jury nullification is the thing. That's how I would feel about it.
We the jury have questions. Can we gonna send the judge some questions?
Mm-hmm. I was good for that.
2 + 2 is 4. And 5
Bailiff,
+ 5 is 10.
Bailiff, can you tell the judge we need ... Can you bring that to us? Thank you. That was me. Can you tell them we need such and such? Thank you.
They ain't never gonna let me be on the jury.
I need a definition.
Never ever.
Never. You or I. They're like, nah. We already know what this is. Nah, y'all not with the okie doke.
I thought that the same thing. I figured out I'm never gonna be on the jury. They keep letting me serve on the goddamn jury. I don't know how. Anyway, I'm about to get something to eat, y'all. What should I eat today? I feel like today is a crab day.
I'm gonna eat it up.
That sounds good.
I should have finished eating yesterday, but I'm gonna eat it today. And I got some shrimp and some fish. It's not the catfish from the
I feel like the crabs today. If I don't eat no crabs, I'm gonna eat some kind of seafood. If you want to donate to the fund,
donate to feed the El Teddy Fund.
Right, because don't I look like I need to eat? Wait, hold on. Let me put up something that has my stuff on there. We'll call it the politics of it all, right? We'll do the politics of it all. There we go. If you need. But then I just covered up Cam's whole body. Hold on.
You are fine. They don't need to see me.
You run your mouth. There you go. It has all my shit up there. I was just throwing anything up there. Oh man, we're not gonna do Silly Saturday because that'll be tomorrow. We'll talk about the $2 billion that now that young man has in the lawsuit. Travis Scott is, $2 billion with a B dollar lawsuit.
$2 billion.
$2 billion with a B. Him, Drake, Live Nation.
Live Nation got it, but Travis Scott and Drake ain't got it.
Well, they all in it. They're all in it. $2 billion. The B.
B.
It heavily falls on Live Nation for not staffing correctly.
Not following the security protocols as well.
Not following security protocols, not staffing correctly. First of all, they should have known better because Travis has already been charged with this twice. He has received charges twice for inciting riots at his concerts and events. So knowing who you had as the headliner for this show, you should know the amount that you had. 750 was not enough for 200,000 people that was going to be at this event. I'm so sorry, it just wasn't. So
somebody thought it not robbery to donate to the crab fund. I appreciate it.
Crab fund.
Look at
the Lord.
Monk Chip said, "Go get you some crabs because we over here talking about the good." Thank you, Monk Chip. Thank you, boo.
We love
I
you.
know that's Mom Chip. I know that's her. But we gonna talk about that tomorrow. Y'all know we got Silly Saturday tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow doing Silly Saturday as we always do, talking about the
It's
day.
about Silly Saturday. I was there
What
last week in person, so
I was traveling for work, so I missed it.
I may be still. Well, I can't because we got
Like, what time are you doing this tomorrow, Teddy? Because you be doing it early.
I
right.
mean, Silly Saturday is always
Poor
between
Travis. Poor Travis. Did you say
10.
poor Travis?
It's always between 10 and 10:30 Eastern, which is 9:30 your time.
Well, I sleep in on the weekend like I have no job.
Come
Okay.
on, sleep until the Lord say
People with no job
say get
sleep
up.
so well. They sleep
Listen,
so
Saturday is
well.
always the only day that I sleep late because I go to church on Sunday, so I can listen.
listen, let's be clear. I would love to sleep late and not do this Saturday. And the people would look at me like, I've gotten threatening emails and DMs where I don't do Silly Saturday. Where the fuck would you at? Where's Silly Saturday? Why are you not here? What's going on? Are you okay? Is
I
everything
mean,
all
I
right?
do wonder when there isn't one, but I don't want to. I don't want to run you down on your social media. It's like, what the fuck would you have? Like,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Shaka on Silly Saturday. We'll talk about her tomorrow.
we gonna talk about rehab?
Child, I don't know.
Make me
Shaka,
go to rehab. I said
nobody should be
no.
surprised. Shaka been doing this for the last 20 years or so. If you ain't seen Shaka incarcerated in the last 20 years, you don't know. But this
I
is the
knew
sad.
it was
But
a
did you
problem when
did
she
but
was
did you
at
see
Aretha funeral.
did you see Stephanie Mills? She was,
Stephanie Mills did the best she could to save the
look, she was being so professional, but them side eyes, like, what?
She's like this motherfucker.
Look,
Shaka
when,
did this
when you the
every time.
only two black people at a job and your coworker cutting up, you be like,
Right now, everybody looking at me.
what is you doing?
Like Shaka,
Girl,
I see Shaka over the last 20. I seen Shaka at least 4 or 5 times in the last 20 years. And every time, now sometimes she be right at that good level of high and drunkenness where she be out there giving it to you. You got to get her at that right. You got to calibrate it correctly. You know what I'm saying? You got to calibrate the drugs and the alcohol correctly so she right at that perfect calibrated point where she gonna sing her ass off and she gonna be real lucid. Now you give her anything above that or below that, and it's a train wreck.
She was incoherent when she was here, so
I'm just saying. This is what we do. We know this is what Shaka gives. This is what
I
she gives.
mean, why get mad when you already know what to expect?
Now I was
no,
in
because
and
not
out. Let
something
me
as
ask you a
big as
question. Let me
that.
ask
Not
y'all a question.
something as big as you would think that she would have the wherewithal to keep it together.
Nah,
Did you?
we giving Shaka too
Let
much
me ask
credit.
y'all a question because I was in and out because I was working, but I was in and out. Did I miss I Feel Good All Over?
Probably. When I saw it, Stephanie was singing, "Reach out and touch me."
I saw that part, but I didn't see her sing I Feel Good
I know,
All Over.
and then Shaka got up to sing at night at Tunisia, and she was screaming over top of the track, and I was like, "Okay, that's it. I'm
I
out."
saw that part. But what I'm
That's
saying
all I
is
saw. That's all I saw.
I
That was enough
never
for me. That was
I
enough for me
never
to tap out.
saw Stephanie do I Feel Good All Over. I never saw Stephanie do I've Learned to Respect the Power of Love. You know what I'm saying?
Did she need to though? Based on what
If you
Shaka
do
was
it,
given?
you got to do your hit. Like I didn't see Shaka do Through the Fire.
Oh no, she wasn't. She wasn't
She
cognizant
wasn't.
enough
She
I
of
wasn't
it.
didn't
gonna give
see
us that.
Shaka do
She wasn't gonna be able to do it.
Shaka didn't do My Funny Valentine. And Shaka's My Funny Valentine is my favorite version of My Funny Valentine. It's better than the Nancy Wilson to me. It's better than the Anita Baker to me. I love Shaka's version of My Funny Valentine. That's my favorite one. But I didn't see. It's a whole bunch of. She didn't do You Love What You Feel? You love what you do to
Stephanie
me.
Mills hasn't lost it in vocally though. She has not lost it at all. She has taken great care of that voice.
So
She
yeah,
did, but you know, she did do. I feel good all over.
she did do I feel good all of. I just missed it.
You
I missed
missed her. She because I know the highlights for me was when she did something in the way, Feel the Fire, and then she did I Feel Good all over.
never I'll do love like this before. Open
Shut
my
up.
eyes,
Not Shaka could have just rolled on the
That
floor.
Ellen, we not
do
saying she not
love
still
like.
Shaka Khan. We saying that we love her and we care for her.
Oh, I love Shaka. Listen, Shaka is a legend. Shaka can holler like none other. Listen, you don't got too many people that can holler like Shaka. When Shaka opened that mouth, and even last night when she felt it, Shaka will open that mouth and holler, and you were like, "Yeah, that's Shaka. Go ahead, Shaka, holler, holler." Shaka go.
I did want her to roll on the floor though. I did kind of want to see that.
I
She
want her
got
to
rolling
get
on
the
the floor.
high
You know how
look.
I have.
Just,
It's like Patty doing a concert and she don't kick them shoes off. I
no,
don't
no,
feel
no.
like I got my money for it.
Like Shaka got to do the little high, I'm drugged out little two step that she do like on I'm Every Woman. When she took a little two step, the heavy flowing Shaka and do the little. No, I was mad at Patty when she stopped throwing the mic stand on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Cause she don't really throw the mic stand no more like she used to. But you know, back in the day when you watch Patty on the end of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you knew she was gonna take that mic stand and throw it like 50 to 100 feet into the crowd, and it would just look out because you knew it was coming. Like you knew if you was in the first couple rows, baby, it's coming at you. But she don't really do it no more. She might have got a lawsuit or something.
She had to do a little settlement on the side.
Yeah, because she used to throw that mic stand. Y'all know she used to throw that mic stand, but Shaka. This did wait a minute. Somebody tell me. So you're saying, Cam, that she definitely did do I Feel Good All Over.
I recall it, unless I'm misremembering. I thought she did it.
And
Bruce,
she definitely did Love Like This before.
respectfully go to hell, Bruce. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Well,
Heavy
Bruce
blood.
might get the chopping, but I don't know what to
I
tell
know
you.
for sure that Stephanie Mills did something in the way Feel the Fire and I Feel
Oh,
Good
I
all over.
remember something in the way you. Well,
I remember those three because those
I
are
remember
highlights
her
for me.
doing Home. I remember her doing
Oh,
Home.
I'm mad that they set it for 8 o'clock and then it didn't start till almost 10. What is y'all doing?
When you
Hey,
know what to expect, why get mad? Which verses have started on time? I think that's what we should focus on.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, because they old and they had to go to bed.
That was a good one, though.
but they
That
was on
was
there all the time, and they
That
still
was a good
have
one.
the song that they could have did. They could have stayed on there for another 2 or 3 hours and still been rolling out hits.
It's like a lot of they have so many hits that it's just like I don't know, dude. I'd rather some of them be longer and the other ones be shorter.
Like Earth, Wind, and Fire could do no wrong for me. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Listen, when they went back and on the break and came back in different outfits, I said, I know you lied to me.
Oh yes, they did. Yes, they did. You saw 'em. Oh, you saw 'em.
Oh
Hey,
God.
They gave us
hey,
a show though. They could perform. They're performers. They're artists. These
they
new
still
age
do
people
right now.
can't. They just can't.
Matter of fact, Philip Bailey got his son that does their tour with them now. Like his son is a part of the band now. Philip Bailey, his son, he travels with them. He's a part of the band now. So.
Okay, I have to drop off. I have a meeting in 4
Yeah, I
minutes.
gotta go off eat too. I
And my
gotta.
schedule,
Yeah,
my
look.
supervisor just scheduled something.
I mean, I've been at work this entire time, so
Me too. But now I got a meeting. I
Y'all,
gotta go with.
you know what y'all ain't
She
shit.
gonna tell us something that could have been an email.
well, look,
Do
I traveled on Sunday, so this is technically my off day as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway, I thank y'all for coming up. I thank everybody in the chat for being here. Thank y'all know how I always say I love y'all. I love all y'all. Thank you all for being vocal present and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. It is much obliged and much appreciated. Thank you, Ebby, for coming on. Thank you, Cam, for coming on. Thank you, Tabitha, for coming on. Thank y'all for engaging with us in the chat. Y'all know what we do. We talk about this kind of stuff. I'm glad to bring this stuff to y'all. Y'all know this is what we do. Like I told y'all, we ain't surprised. We ain't surprised. Anyway, that's all we got for y'all. If you're watching a replay, go ahead and get in the comment section and give us your own comments and commentary about what we've had to say today. That's all I got for you all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.